This lesson is about finding the explicit formula for an arithmetic sequence. Last time we talked about the recursive formula. Remember, recursive was when instead of plugging in 1, 2, or 3 to get the first, second, or third number, we had to go from one term to the next. So to get the second term, we'd plug in the first term. And to get the third term, we plug in the second term, and so on. Here's an example. For this formula, the first term is 3, and then to get any additional term, you would add 4 to the previous term. So the first term is 3, and to get the next term, we would add 4, which is called our common difference. So 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 4 is 11, and we would go from term to term. For an explicit formula, we don't have to get the previous term in order to find the one we want. We can get any term by simply plugging in the term number. To get the first term, I'd plug in 1. To get the third term, I'd plug in 3. And if I want the 50th term, I would just plug in 50, without having to know what the term before it was. There's a formula for the explicit formula. an is equal to a1 plus d times n minus 1. Now remember, a1 is the first term, and d is the letter we use for the common difference, which is how much it's adding each time. If it was subtracting, we would just minus d instead of adding d in that formula. Let's look at an example. If we want to write the explicit formula for this arithmetic sequence, remember, arithmetic means it's adding or subtracting the same amount each time. First, we would want to identify the pattern we see and the first term of the sequence. The first term is 3, so that's going to be our a1 value. And to get from one term to the next, it's adding 4, so that is our common difference, or d value. And we would simply plug those two numbers into our formula. So an is equal to our first term, 3, plus our common difference, 4, times n minus 1 in parentheses. Here's another example. If I want to find the 20th term of an arithmetic sequence, and all I know is the first term and the common difference, I can create the formula and then just plug in 20 to find the 20th term. In this case, our first term is 75, and our common difference is minus 7. That means we would start at 75 and subtract 7 each time. I want to find the 20th term, so after I create my formula, I'm going to plug in 20 for n. That means that the 20th term is equal to 75 minus 7 times 20 minus 1 in parentheses. If I do the math, my 20th term is going to be negative 58.